What's up, boys? Day 85 of Road to 100k in 100 days. This day today is Monday, June 30th. I had 2 meetings today, 2 of them, like Friday, 2 meetings. Friday, I essentially got 2 no's, but they were trying to be nice and say maybe. Today was pretty much a replica of Friday. I had 2 meetings. They were both actually really, really good and promising. But when it comes to the closing vote, they both said no. And they didn't say no, just flat out no, like I asked them to, politely. When I always say, hey, look, this can either go yes, no, or maybe. Don't give me maybe, just give me yes or no. Are you cool there? And they say, yep. And then they always say maybe at the end if they're not interested. If they want to say no, they'll say maybe. So, yeah, both of these guys I'll be calling back in 1 week. But I have a feeling, like, I'm not really holding my hopes up very high for either of them. Even though the conversation I had with both of them was really, really good when it comes to the pricing. Clearly it's not something that they feel comfortable justifying, and that's all good. My job is to do exactly what I can, but I'm not here to beat anyone over the head with a stick and try to sell them it. If you think it's going to value you and your business, buy it, and if you don't buy it. That's cool. All good with me. Which is actually quite a privileged position to be coming from. When you have clients coming in and paying you, you have the option to turn down work if people don't want to work with you. I'm not saying I turned it down today, saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't help. I could help. It's just I was able to gladly accept a no. If I was a desperate salesman and had essentially no money coming in, I might be like, oh, well, I'll give you a discount and this and that, and we can work something out and we'll find a way. No, I didn't need to do that. It's just like, yep, no stress. You see the value though, right? And they're like, yep, I see the value. It's just not for me right now. And I say, that's totally cool. I understand it's not for you right now. What I'll do is I'll give you a call in a week. And if we don't work, from that point onwards, all good. Give me 90 days, give me 180 days. I get in touch with you and I'll just be, I'll keep the relationship going. Is that cool with you? And of course, they're always open to it. And I can't tell you how many people have closed because of conversations just like that, essentially. So even though I didn't get any deals today, even though I had 2 sales calls, not really mad, because I know my numbers. Usually it's 4 sales calls will equate to 1 deal. Earlier in this challenge, this 100-day challenge, I've been luckier than that. I'll get 2 deals and 3 calls. And then these last 4 calls, 2 on Friday, 2 today, equated in 0 sales. So even though it is what it is, I took a bit of time to review the sales calls I had last week and see what went right. And again, I'll review these calls today and see what went right and see what went wrong. And we'll just get better from that point on. Again, I have another sales call tomorrow. Very exciting. And then I have not a sales call per se, but a follow-up call on Wednesday with a person I spoke to almost 2 weeks ago now, which could be another deal on the day, which would be exciting. But yeah, guys, this is really it for me. My bread and butter is my bread and butter is the advertising for my own company, 1, the sales for my own company, 2, the advertising for my customers, making sure they get a good product, all the way up until our last little section of fulfillment, which is actually calling the lead forms, the prospects that fill out my customers' lead forms, and calling as if I'm calling on behalf of my customer. So let me give you an example. Let's say I work for a company called JT Building, right? My company, my agency, we work with JT Building. Simple as that. We run all the ads and all the marketing for JT Building. Okay, cool. Then when people, that's our area of expertise. We're really good at advertising and marketing. So we get paid by JT Building to do that for them. Okay, cool. Now you know how we do it. JT Building, then their day-to-day life is the owner of JT Building is out building. He's got his employees he's got to manage. He's got things he's got to take care of. Cool. we do all the advertising, do all the marketing. We run ads on his behalf that JT Building pays for. They pay for the ads, makes sense. And when these ads are doing well, which they do because we're the ones running them because we're quite good at what we do and we have a lot of experience doing it, prospects get in touch with these leads, these ads, and they fill out lead forms, which is also known as a new lead coming in. My company, we call up those leads, essentially pretending to be JT Builders, and we say, hey, this is JT Builders, you just filled out our lead form regarding a decking offer we're running, a pergola offer we're running, a kitchen upgrade we're running, a bathroom upgrade we're running, a new exterior paint, an interior paint job we're running. Tell me about your house, tell me about your apartment, tell me about your townhouse, tell me about your, is it 1 story, 2 story, 3 stories? When was it built? How long have you had this issue? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to sell? Have you just bought? Are you renting? Do you own? We ask these questions, and then once they're qualified and we know we can help out, which is quite an easy conversation to be honest, because they'll usually be shopping around and getting quotes from other people, which is fine. Then my company tell JT Builders, hey, I'll call up the owner, or rather I'd send him a WhatsApp or a text or an email, or some people do it over Slack. It's a lot, no one really uses Slack in New Zealand, so especially tradies. So we use WhatsApp and text and email, and then I'll put it on a CRM to make it set in stone pretty much. I'll say, hey, on this day and this time, you can go to this location and have these notes about the prospect and give them a quote on the day. And then our job is done. That section there of calling JT Builders prospects, of which there are many because we're constantly running ads, that takes up a lot of time for me, which I could be spent doing something else. I could spend that time doing more outreach, making better ads for myself, making better ads for my customers, right? Making sure my customers get a better service. But that's more of an admin task. And I think that's right now my biggest bottleneck, because let's say JT Builders is getting 5 to 10 new leads a day. Let's just keep it simple and say 5. That's 5 phone calls that I personally have to make on behalf of JT Builders. How long is that going to take? Let's say they're 5 minutes each. That's about 25 minutes of phone calls. Let's say get a 1 minute break in between each one. That's half an hour of phone calls, right? Just in the last, as you can see, 85 days, I've got 6 new clients. 6. I've got 6 new clients. And that happens every day. Those phone calls, every day. So without me even talking to the owners, the clients that I work one-on-one with, without speaking to the owner of the company, which is, I still do that, don't get me wrong, I have to spend, 30 minutes times 6, you can do the math on how long that's taking me, essentially every day to make these phone calls on behalf of my clients. So what I'm getting at is this. I think I'm going to hire a team member to take care of that for me. That takes me hours a day to do. And quite frankly, it's not the most profitable use of my time. Because although we can get 5% commission, when I say we, I mean I can get 5% commission on all deals closed to my clients that we help generate, which means from the ads, clients that come in from the ads we generate. That doesn't equate to more money than a setup fee for a new client. Do you understand what I'm saying? If I can get on a sales call for 30 minutes and get a $4,000 customer like that, that's awesome. But if I have to spend 2 hours, 2.5 hours calling these customers, and in return, that gets, $20,000 in new business, right? I only make 1,000 from that. 5%, 1,000. I'm hoping this is making sense to you guys. So I would rather spend 30 minutes doing that than 180 minutes doing all of that in return for less money. Not to mention that I'm not the biggest expert when it comes to the ins and outs of giving a quote on the phone, the ins and outs of home ownership, essentially. Even though I know a lot, and I know more than the average person, and I know more than, essentially anyone aside from a builder or an electrician or a plumber, you get the idea. It's not the best use of my time, and I would rather spend my time doing something else. I would rather spend my time. It will be more profitable for a company to spend my time doing something else. So that's what I'm going to do. And right now, like I said, that's my biggest bottleneck. So I'm going to update you guys on how I'm going to address that. I've actually spent the last half an hour today, or right now rather, pretty much giving my personal tasks jobs and essentially hourly values. So I can delegate what's unimportant and what's generating a lot of revenue for my company. I hope this makes sense. This has been a bit of a random video. I've been talking all over the place. My delivery definitely needs work. But what I want you to take away from this video is, as the owner, your job is to tie everything in a nice little pretty bow and make it look presentable, but you have to delegate the things that are not most important to you to people that can do it better than you. The way you do that is through systems, through training, through handbooks, through updates, through educating your client, educating your team, and making sure everything's flowing smoothly on a daily basis. Something that I learned. Anyway, that's it for this video, day 85. Remember, I got a new meeting tomorrow. 2 meetings today, no deals, but hopeful for the future for them. New meeting tomorrow. Subscribe, comment, and like this video. And I'm going to see you tomorrow for day